Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Keith Andrew Network. It is episode 774, and today is a special TNA Wrestling theme. That's right, it's a TNA reunion. And what is a TNA reunion? It's all the TNA professional wrestlers who I ever interviewed will be on the show for a special reunion. So today, we're going to sit down with former TNA World Heavyweight Champion Raven. Also, we have one half of the TNA Tag Team Champions, Chris Harris. Also, we have a brand new guest who is also a TNA wrestler, Sean Casey. He will be with us. It's going to be a great episode. Make sure to subscribe to the KeithAndrewNetwork.com, Keith Andrew Network on YouTube and Instagram, and follow us today. With that being said, let's jump right into the interview and let's get started.
How you doing, Keith?
No, it's a real
What's going
honor
on,
to have
Keith?
you.
What's up, Keith?
Pretty good. Sean, did you want to start off the show?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
All right, so the first question I want to ask you is what interests you to join, almost at Impact Wrestling? What made you join TNA Wrestling, and what was it like?
Who are you asking?
You know what? You asking Raven or you asking?
No, go ahead, John. I just wanted to say that Keith has a learning disability, so the fact that he comes out and does the podcast and stuff is really impressive.
Really cool. Yes, absolutely. And we're really 100% glad to be part of it, and definitely part of doing something with you is always fun.
No, absolutely. And Raven actually has his own show. You guys can, if you're interested, maybe work together.
Sure, we don't do any guests, but sure.
Oh yeah.
Didn't mean to put you on the
could
spot.
be the invisible guest.
Yeah, I figured everybody has guests. I wouldn't have a guest on my show. I just have me and my couple of buddies of mine do the show. But well, I want to know what Chris has been up to. What have you been doing, man? You got out of the business and just disappeared.
I'm helping out with some younger guys, doing some training a couple times a week, just helping out with the new generation.
Cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. But Chris and Raven have been on the show before, but I want to give the newcomers their chance to explain their stories. And then towards the end, we all can ask each other questions. So the first question is for both of you, Sean. What interests you to join TNA Impact? And let's call it Impact Wrestling. What made you join Impact Wrestling, and how long have you worked there?
I actually was just coming out of OVW when John Cena and Batista and Randy Orton, Brock Lesnar, all those guys were there. And I think it was within maybe that same year that I was leaving there, TNA had started up. So they had a really cool deal going on with the pay-per-view and that. And I know Chris was there at the time, and I don't believe Raven had got there yet. And we were in there just for a quick minute, really, just to kind of kick it off and all that. I had Samantha with me, and that's when they had the girls that dance in the cages down the ramp there for the pay-per-view. And she was doing the pay-per-views as one of the TNA dancers. And originally she was going to do the front cover and just couldn't really come to a contractual agreement with TNA. So she didn't wind up doing that. And I did many shows for Explosion for them and just kind of went from there. And like I said, we were kind of in and out for a hot minute, but it grew on and went on to do some really cool stuff. And Raven had some fantastic matches there, and so did Wildcat. Him and James Storm, wonderful tag team. Really, really cool times watching those guys and watching TNA grow from the start.
No, I agree with you 100%. As I was saying to Raven off the air, I was in the works of talking to Jeff Jarrett, who we did a phone interview with, and Vince Russo, but Vince Russo doesn't do interviews anymore. But taking a guess, I think he would love to heavy on the show because he does have guests, and Jeff Jarrett's in the works. But going back to the table for free segment, and everyone can see it on the WWE Network. Doing a little plug for them on the WWE Network. There was a segment I thought was very interesting, and I wanted to bring it up to you guys. And for my next question, it was Jeff Jarrett, AJ Styles, and Sting, and they were talking about the six-sided ring. And what's funny is, they're talking about merchandise and they're like, oh, we have action figures and title belts, and everyone at the stores are like, no, we don't want that. We have plenty of that. But you have the six-sided ring that will sell. And each of you had a chance to be in the six-sided ring. Do you prefer the traditional four-sided ring, or did you actually like the six-sided ring? Personally, I liked the six-sided ring. It was different and it made the company stand out. Whoever wants to start.
Chris, you want to take that?
Yeah, I'll throw that in. I think we're all, used to the traditional style ring. When they brought the six-sided in, I think a lot of us were against it, just because it was something different. But honestly, once you got in and, you ran the ropes a couple times, got the feel for it, it really wasn't a whole big difference in your style of working. I mean, you had to adjust a few things, but it's something that you can definitely adapt to. And I think a lot of the guys would say that. They may have been hard on it at the beginning, but once you get used to it, and it doesn't take long. Once you get used to it, it was actually a pretty cool idea. It was something else that made TNA stand out.
What about you, Scotty?
Yeah, I kind of thought that like I liked it. First of all, here's the thing: like I prefer a four-sided ring, like the WWE big ring, but the NWA always had the smaller rings, which I didn't like. So I would rather have the six-sided ring than the small NWA ring. But if I had my druthers, I would take the four-sided, the regular size ring, the WWE big, the normal big ring that they use. But I like the six-sided ring. I mean, it was big, it was roomy. So, the NWA rings were always so small. You took 2 steps and you're already at the other side of the ropes.
True. The rings were really small.
What are those 16 by 16, Raven?
Yeah, I think so. I forget. It's been so long. Ever been in a 14 by 14 now?
I take one step and I'm at the other ring or the other rope.
Yeah, the 14 by 14 was even worse than the 16 by 16. I think WWE is what, 20 by 20?
20 by 20,
yeah.
You take a suplex in the 14 and you're already like slingshot off the
right. That's like in the UFC. They got I don't know if you guys watch UFC, but they do a lot of shows from the Apex Center in Vegas, which has a smaller cage, and so it's like guys are getting pinned, so it's like you can run anybody down in the cage, as opposed to having to giving them more room for to go side to side and escape, to get out of the way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Keith.
No, I was gonna say I never said.
Telling Raven, I said I think the last time I worked at a. No, I was just gonna tell Raven. I said I think the last time I was in a six-sided ring was we did that show we ran against Cauliflower Alley. I don't know if you remember. We had Rikishi and all them, and I think we had that little venue that was in Vegas, and they had like I think 800,000 people in there, and I know Kishi was there, Raven. I know you were there, and they had it was a six-sided ring. A bunch of the guys that were from. That was like 5 years ago, right? Like back around 09.
Was that long ago?
Yeah, a little further than that. I think it might have been like. I think so. Yeah, it was. We ran against Cauliflower Alley the night before, and we outdrew them. It was like a Sunday night or something like that, I think. But I remember we did the show together. But they had a six-sided ring in like that little crazy, like off the strip garage. Lots of people or something.
Yeah, I remember that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think was that the show? Was that the one where the Butcher Vachon was there?
You know what? I'm trying to remember if Butcher was there.
Well, I forget. One year he was there at one of the biggest shows.
Yeah, it was the very last one where Billy Blade, that was running Vendetta Pro, took over booking the Cauliflower Alley stuff up there, and they had somebody else that was running it. But so we ran head to head the night before with Cauliflower. So however many years ago that was, but
that's been a long
actually,
time.
I think we had a better house than what they actually do for the Cauliflower Alley. We ran against stuff.
But you know, the thing that always irritated me about the Cauliflower Alley was they would they would let the fans come to the dinners. Like they wouldn't like push the merchandise selling in the afternoon where you want the fans, but then they'd let the fans come to the dinner, which should just be the boys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's a special type thing. I don't know. I'm all about letting the fans, join in on a lot of stuff. There's certain things that are just supposed to be precious, and that's supposed to be just for the boys.
And especially when they don't like, they never used to plug the afternoon signings. So there'd be like low attendance, and you're like start plugging the afternoon. That's where we need the fans to come.
Yeah, they plug the dinner.
Yeah,
but it's just, you go to these Comic Cons or Horror Cons or whatever, and it's like, oh, meet them during the day, and then at night there's a special event. But my whole thing was, it still is, one of the things that I bitch about the most. I'm like, you know what? If they come during the day and they buy something, then they should be privy to come to the dinner.
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean? But
make them earn it.
But yeah, we'll make them earn it. But
were you in the Marines?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so was I.
Right on, brother.
Yeah.
Semper Fi.
Hoorah.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that bothers me the most is the fact that they offer these invites to the dinner, but there's no process in getting there.
Right, yeah.
I mean,
like at the very least, they should charge them like $150 or $250.
Absolutely. I mean, we make our money. Well, we make our money in merch. I mean, let's face it. And without selling merch, it's like, why are we here?
And then like if they would charge more for the fans, and they could put it in the pension, like have a pension plan for the boys, for when the boys get sick. But
absolutely.
I don't know why they don't capitalize on that. I mean, if they made it exclusive, $1,000 to come to the Cauliflower Alley dinner for a fan, you would get at least 30, 40 fans at least. And you might get more because they'd be like, oh, it's exclusive. There won't be many fans there, so they'll want it.
Smoke and mirrors, baby, smoke and mirrors.
Right.
Or what would be a better idea is to do like a VIP package. So I know you said it's only like a boy thing, where you guys get to all together, but you could actually do like something special, like a raffle. First 10 people can guess a number. So yes, all the wrestlers are together, but you can have 10 lucky fans too at the same time.
Right.
We got to get you booking it, Keith.
Help
us out, Booker man.
Actually, while we're here, I do want to plug a show in July that I'm working on. I was talking to Raven off the air. I interviewed so many professional wrestlers. We did an actual ECW reunion. I will send you guys the link to that. And it was a lot of fun. I was thinking, I should do a Power Ranger one. I should do a Dragon Ball Z one. I was thinking, do I want to do WCW first or WWE? And I was thinking, I have a handful of WWE people. Why not do something for the summer? It's not like where any of us are going anywhere until there's a vaccine. But I don't know. I would love to have you guys a part of that if you're interested.
Sure, man.
Absolutely.
Now, the next question I want to ask, Chris, you look very happy to be here.
Like, hey, grumpy cat.
Just standing there all quiet. Like,
it looks like he can't. It looks like he can't hear a single thing, and he's just staring at the screen, waiting for it to come on.
Cut a promo on him, Raven.
Hey, one of my best matches I ever had was with Chris. Like TNA, they make you when you make it one of those DVDs, like a best of. So all my matches I lost. Like all my best matches I lost. Like people like, so I was like, my buddy's looking at the DVDs like, you didn't win a single match here. I'm like, yeah, so what? It's the best of my losing matches. But me and Chris, like we had never worked together before, and man, we had a hell of a match. I always remember that.
That was a great time, man. I loved working with you. We had some really good matches.
Yeah. In that first time,
Chris and I had some good matches.
But the question I want to ask is, Chris, was everyone that you were a tag team partner with, you know, you mentioned off the air your best friends was James Storm, but do you think there will be a reunion coming back for Impact Wrestling, or this is a question for all of you? I know, Raven, you're still in Impact right now, but for everyone else, how do you feel? The first question is, how do you feel about the crossover between Impact Wrestling and AEW? And do you think you guys will come out of retirement for one more title run? Chris,
I love the crossover. It's something that hasn't been done in a very long time, but it marks for some interesting matchups. Can bring a lot of interest back into some odd matchups. But I love the crossover. As far as Impact, Storm just got back involved, so you know, it'll be exciting to see what he does and
how much gas he takes. Holy shit! Did he get jacked? Did he not get jacked or what?
He's in better shape now than he was years ago.
What's that?
He's in better shape now than he was years ago.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. He stopped working at TNA and all of a sudden he ballooned up.
Yeah, man, we'll see what he does. I mean, I'm excited to see him back on TV, and you know, if the story's right and everything sounds good, you know, you never say never in the wrestling business.
what about you,
Chris,
Raven?
I see you and Sean doing some stuff together again. Those were some of the best days. When you and Sean were together, I was
fun
really
times.
digging it.
Yeah,
I could see that happening again.
Sean was my first tag team partner.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't even know that.
So what happened? He left you for Storm? That bastard.
Yeah, he super kicked me in the
You can't trust to keep a guy next to you these days.
Yeah, he went on to bigger and better things and just gave me a boot.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Sean? I don't remember you winning any titles, but was that something you always wanted to? No burn.
Sean never won titles.
But,
Keith, you work snug, don't you?
that wasn't like a sub or anything. But actually, you bring up a good subject. There's so many people that had this charisma about them that should have been champion. Scott Hall could have been WWF champion, but he didn't want it. So that's how that's related to you. Is did you ever want like one belt, or it just never happened to line up?
In a lot of the bigger promotions, no, I never got any momentum with anything where they were pushing me in any big storyline for a belt or anything like that. Now, all around the nation, from the East Coast to the West Coast, I've had many titles. And the irony was, I've been in the business 28 years. This May will be 29. And this last run, right before Corona, I have 5 titles at the same time. I said, right when I'm about as old as I could possibly be in a business, I get a big push everywhere. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you still look great, man. You look like $1 million.
Oh, thanks, bro. I'm trying to keep up, man. You're looking great too. Every time I see you, you're getting better and better. So that's good. Always good. Much love to you.
It's sickening. It's sickening the way Sean looks. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's so irritating. I bet you don't even diet either, do you?
No, you know what? I'm actually pretty strict on a lot of stuff. I eat probably 95% of the time. I eat pretty good and all that. I mean, Chris remembers I used to bring in like the this is back when you had no meal prep and it was just like some carny little bowl that you had with rice and chicken, and I'd eat it cold with salsa in it. And Chris used to always ask me, he's like, well, what should we do? Like, because I give him diet tips. I'm like, just eat this cold chicken breast that sucks, and and this salsa inside your rice, and just eat like 5 times a day. Eat just that, no matter how miserable it is.
Yeah, he'd be eating in the dressing room. I'd be like, what the hell, man?
He still does it. He still does it.
I'm going to pass the show over you guys over to any subject you want to talk about. But the first one, I want to talk to Scotty real fast. I came across a match where you took on Owen Hart. Yeah, I just want to get your opinion on that. Actually, I'm going to ask you guys one question each, then we pass the show over. So, Scotty,
I don't remember that. Man, that was when I was Johnny Polo, I guess.
yes.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that I wrestled him. Like I wouldn't. If you asked me yes or no, I would have said no. But with that, but since you looked it up, I guess I must have. But yeah, I don't.
It's funny he said it. It's funny he said that, Raven, because I just recently watched a match. It was the Quebecers against Brett and Owen.
Right.
And you were out there.
Yeah. I was. Did I have my snorkel and flippers on?
Probably.
Ask you, out of all your great title matches that you had, what was the very best one that you still think of to this point? Then, Sean, I'll pass it over to you guys.
Who's that question for?
Oh, Chris.
Oh, okay.
Or the tag matches you had, what's your one favorite you still think of to this point?
Oh wow. Let's see. We had 7 title runs. I guess the one people remember the most, and I guess it's in my mind because people talk about it so much, is the cage match with Triple X. We won the belts from Triple X in a cage match, and a lot of people had a lot of talking about that. So that's one I remember the most.
What about you, Sean?
Probably the match itself wasn't really nothing to look at, and I don't know why they picked it, but just because the promotion that it got and everything was, I think it was 2016 or 17, WWE released the Brock Lesnar Eat, Sleep, Conquer, Repeat, and they used me and my old tag partner Chris Michaels against Brock Lesnar and Shelton Benjamin. This is after Brock had been WWE Heavyweight Champion, then UFC Heavyweight Champion, then back in WWE. So not necessarily for the.
You should have shot on him.
What's that?
You should have shot on him.
I thought I was going to have to every time he get the hot tag. I'm like, good God. Fight for my life.
Yeah, he's a beast.
But that would be my most notable as far as like publicity wise and stuff like that. But I mean, I had much better matches with a lot of other different people just through the years and things like that. But just for sake of some corny promotion.
What about you, John? I know you mentioned you're his bodyguard, but were you ever in the ring physically?
Oh yeah, I get in the ring all the time with Sean. I honestly, tell you the truth, I've never had a title match. Actually, I did just a few weeks ago against Sean. So let's just put it. We threw a little curve in the mix, and
we did the Hogan Nash finger poke of doom. I got that GW heavyweight.
I'll tell you what, it got a hell of a pop because I mean
5-star match.
Absolutely, absolutely. With the help of people in the past, Al Snow and everybody else, I learned a lot of psychology, and by doing that, we got a hell of a pop. But that's the only title match I've ever been in. I do get in the ring with Sean quite a bit, but it's more along the lines of a Kevin Nash kind of role, obviously, and it is what it is. I make the best out of every opportunity because, as I was telling Raven off the air, I mean, I've had quite a bit of health problems, 5 heart attacks, and everything like that. Doctors still freak out as to why I'm doing this, and I told them if I'm going to die, it's going to be on my terms, and where I decide. But I'm not ready to quit, and I'm going to keep going as long as the good Lord allows me.
But in the ring, he's my diesel, so make sure that I get the job done.
But just make sure not to super kick him or anything.
Yeah.
But
no, when he's not wrestling, he's on the road with Brett Michaels with Poison. They got that big stadium tour coming up. If they ever get rid of this whole COVID thing, get the vaccines out, they got the Motley Crue Poison Stadium tour, and John will be there with Brett. He's always Brett's personal assistant and bodyguard whenever those guys are traveling and that. So I have to let go of him for a minute. And,
that's good work if you can get it.
I don't have Chris anymore.
Hell yeah! So I mean, I've been with Brett for 25 years now. So I mean,
wow.
He's like a brother. He's one of my best friends. So whenever Poison or Brett goes out, I go with him. But he knows that wrestling is my passion, and it's kind of sometimes it's a little bit hard to balance it. But
how did you hook up with Brett?
I used to work. Well, when I got out of the Marines, let me start over. When I was in the Marines, I spent a lot of time in Hollywood because I was stationed out in Camp Horno in Pendleton. Go up to Hollywood on the weekends, and I got to be friends with the guys in Rat and Cinderella and stuff. So I started working for Rat in '98, and we went on tour with Poison, and Brett and Ricky and Cece and Bobby and I met each other on the tour, and there was just a chemistry there. It clicked, and they were like, "Get him! We want him in our camp," and the rest is history. It's been amazing.
Wow. Was it 2007? I think was the Rock of Love. We remember the VH1 Rock of Love series. Yeah, he was Brett's personal assistant there, and they had, I guess, the highest.
We still do. We had the highest rated show in VH1's history, and we still, knock on wood, carry that record. So
that show was hilarious.
It was a freaking train wreck, man.
It was awesome.
It worked. It really worked.
It did.
On the very first episode, we had 25 girls, and the director, Mark Cronin, says, "I need to narrow it down to 20 because I got to get rid of 5." And I looked at him. I said, "Don't you dare!" And he goes, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Just let me do what I do." And immediately, I became the biggest heel in freaking reality television because I came out. I said, "You, and you." As you know, in real life, not all the girls get backstage, so your bags are at the end of the driveway. Go home. I shot on him, and next thing you know, Cronin comes out and he goes, "You just became the biggest villain in reality TV history." And I was like, "That's what I wanted."
That's perfect. We need a monster.
That's the kind of heat you want when you're leaving a building. Everybody coming after you.
Exactly.
No, absolutely. Now, wrapping up our talk show, how can people follow you guys on social media? And when I approached you guys, especially you guys, Sean, John, when I first approached you, what was your honest opinion about accepting my request, and how do you feel now?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I at the time I think you contacted me, it's been months and months back, and this was before the COVID thing, and we were busy with that, and my personal life and this and that. So doing a lot of podcasts, just it was kind of like trying to fit everything in. Now, with not a lot going on, I told John, I said, we got to just kind of get these podcasts in order, and it's a way to still kind of be working and be out there reaching out to the fans and that. So, it was a pleasure and an honor to be able to be part of the show. And I think you got a very classy show. I think it's really, really cool to see Chris and Raven both. I haven't seen in a minute. So I've enjoyed it. So I think it's a really cool thing you got going on.
No, I appreciate it. If you guys ever want to collaborate, cross promote, do a part 2, I would love that.
Sure.
And the one thing I do want to promote real fast is, I don't know if you guys know Celeb VM and Cameo. That's another way to interact with your fans as well.
Okay. No, but if you want to message us that, we definitely
got it.
Yeah, that Cameo is pretty good. I'm on that. The people pay you to do give video messages, so it takes like 30 seconds to a minute, and you get paid anywhere from whatever you ask for. So like I'm charging $50 a video, so so you pick a couple. It's a great little side income. Especially like guys that who really are over to charging like $800 or $1,000, and get like zillions of requests. It's like you could just live on that if you was at that level.
Yeah, that sounds like a really cool deal. Payoffs like that. That's but hell, I'll take whatever.
No, absolutely. Now, Zoom, we're going over the
Check that
limit on Zoom, but it was a real honor and privilege having you guys here. So I want to say thank you very much for accepting my request, and I'm looking forward to part two down the road.
I'm Penny Fine.
Hi, it's Mimi Chen.
Hi, my name is Ellen Dorsch.
I'm Shauna Todd.
Hey guys, I'm Anastasia Edwards.
Hi, this is Jackie Nunez.
Hi, I'm Millie Rose.
There, I'm Tatiana.
Hey guys, I'm Alexandria Denise, and you're watching Keith Andrews Show. He's doing a terrific job. Make sure you like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more awesome.